theory without practice is pointless. Practice without theory is mindless. Friends, I congratulate all the officers who are being awarded the Master of Philosophy degree today. It is said that theory without practice is pointless. Practice without theory is mindless. I am sure that this academic exposure would have given a sound theoretical underpinning to your practical perspective. This course is unique in the sense that it brings together selected senior officers from various organizations of the government and friendly foreign countries. The objective is to prepare them for higher responsibility in the management of national security and other related areas of public policy. I am certain that this course would have enhanced your insight into the strategic challenges and opportunities that our nations are facing today. This would have also equipped you for greater responsibility of strategic leadership and policy formulation. Friends, the concept of security has been associated with the history of human civilization from the very beginning. You all would be familiar with the concept of the state of nature by Thomas Hobbes, one of the major pioneers of modern political philosophy. In his work, he propounded that without the state, or rather without governance, which ensures security of life and property, human life cannot be an ideal life. Here, by state, he means the guarantor of security. Thomas Hobbes has mentioned in his famous work, Leviathan, that where there is no common power, there is no law, no wars, no letters, no society, and which is worst of all, continual fear and danger of violent death and the life of man, solitary, poor, nasty, British, and swart. As per Hobbes, where there is no security, there can be no art, literature, prosperity, and culture. And where there is no culture, there is no respect for each other, and therefore no value of life. In such a situation, the existence of the state becomes necessary for a society having an ideal life. Security is the most primal function of the state. Whatever may be the political system, be it monarchy, feudalism, imperialism, or a democratic system, the responsibility of security has remained with the state. Friends, from the beginning of the tribal system till the development of state and nation, there have been changes in the paradigm of security, but the broad concept of security still remains the same. And this broad concept of security is the protection of human freedom, human rights, and the human dignity. The full potential of society's development can be realized only when its security is ensured. That is why I believe that the narrative of dichotomy between security and development, as stated by a few commentators, is false. Security is sine qua non for civilization to flourish and prosper. Friends, with the changing times and society, the dimensions of security have also changed. Till the recent past, security was generally viewed in two aspects. First, internal security, and second, external security. Internal security means the management of security within our borders and the maintenance of law and order. And external security means the protection of our borders from the foreign forces. But as seen from the last few decades, the gap between internal and external security is getting narrower. New dimensions of security threats are emerging that are becoming increasingly difficult to classify. Take terrorism from example. Generally, it falls in the area of internal security, but at times it comes to light that training, funding, and armed support of such organizations is being done from outside the country. Incidents of cross-border infiltration and cross-border terrorism are seen. which are classified in the category of external security. And now, we are facing such security threats which fall into the category of non-kinetic and non-contact warfare. Cyber warfare and information warfare are such security threats. The vulnerability of the critical infrastructure to cyber attacks has become a big concern. Critical infrastructure like power generation and distribution is increasingly becoming more complex and reliant on networks of connected devices. Just a few decades ago, power grids and other critical infrastructure operated in isolation. Now, they are far more interconnected both in terms of geography and across sectors. The energy sector is one of the main targets of the cyber attacks against critical infrastructure, but it is not the only one. Transport, public sector services, telecommunications, and the critical manufacturing industry are also vulnerable. Friends, our increasingly interconnected financial system are also at a great risk. You all must be aware that in February 2016, hackers targeted the Central Bank of Bangladesh and tried to steal $1 billion, while most transactions were blocked. $101 million still disappeared. This was a wake-up call for the finance world that cyber risk in the financial system had been severely underestimated. Today, the assessment that a major cyber attack poses a threat to financial stability is not a question of if, but when. Friends, likewise, information war have the potential to threaten our political stability. There is no account of how much fake news and hate material is likely to be brought in the society through social media platforms. The organized use of social media and other online content generation platforms is being used for engineering the opinion or perspective of the masses. The deployment of information war was most evident in the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Throughout the conflict, social media has served as a battleground for both sides to spread competing narratives about the war and portray the conflict in their own terms. The propaganda campaigns as a means of a strategy to shape narratives are by no means new during warfare, but its reach has increased by leaps and bounds due to the shift forward social media as the primary distribution channel. Friends, another case in point is the role of the Cambridge Analytica in the US presidential elections of 2016, which revealed how the social media platforms created a connect us have been weaponized to influence free and fair elections around the world. India, with millions of WhatsApp and Facebook users and on various other social media platforms, has a big reason to be cautious. Now, the real question is, if there are so grave security challenges evolving before us, how we counter them? The answer, according to me, lies in the working towards shared and collective responsibility of the community of civilized nations. Martin Luther King Jr. once said that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. In this era of high connectivity and interdependence, the statement holds more relevance than ever. When peace and security of any region is threatened, the entire world feels its impact in multiple ways. The recent Ukrainian conflict showed how its ripple effects could adversely impact the whole world. Together, Russia and Ukraine export nearly a third of the world's wheat and barley. But this conflict had prevented grain from leaving the breadbasket of the world and led to the food crisis in various African and Asian countries. This conflict has also fueled an energy crisis in the world. In Europe, oil and gas supply has been dwindling. India has also been affected as the Russia-Ukraine war led to the disruption in international energy supply, making the energy import much more expensive. Friends, if security becomes a truly collective enterprise, then we can think of creating a global order which is beneficial to all of us. The global community has been working towards it, and there exists a lot of multilateral organizations working in the field of security like United Nations Security Council. And what we now require is to elevate it to a level of shared interests and shared security for all. Some may argue that it is a utopian dream. To this, I would say that we have recently achieved it in a particular case of COVID-19. The recent global response to the COVID pandemic highlighted the urgent requirement of the multinational collaboration in information sharing, situational analysis, as also research, development and production of the vaccine. This was an important lesson for the world, and it highlighted the need for greater understanding, connect and the cooperative initiatives between institutes and organizations within and across nations in handling issues of national and international security. The pandemic also gave a chance to us as a country to put into practice our deeply held belief of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam when we initiated landmark initiatives such as Operation Samudra Setu and Vaccine Maitri. The impact of these initiatives has been very much visible in our bilateral relations with countries in the neighborhood and beyond. Friends, recently we have also been espousing the idea of the multi-alignment. We believe in a multi-aligned policy which is realized through diverse engagements with the multiple stakeholders so that views and concerns of all can be discussed and addressed for a prosperous future of all. This is the only way that can lead to shared responsibility and prosperity. I would like to share another related issue in this security paradigm, that is, not to consider national security as a zero-sum game. We should strive to create a win-win situation for all. We should not be guided by narrow self-interest which is not beneficial in the long run, but by enlightened self-interest which is sustainable and resilient to shocks. A strong and prosperous India would not be built at the cost of the others. Rather, India is here to help other nations realize their full potential. Friends, in a similar vein, I would like to tell you that conduct of our strategic policy should be moral. India does not believe in a world order where few are considered superior to others. India's actions are guided by the very essence of human equality and dignity, which is a part of our ancient ethos, and its strong moral foundations give us our political strength. Even our freedom struggle was based on the bedrock of high moral values. I would like to quote Mahatma Gandhi, where he said that, "If I want freedom for my country, believe me, if I can possibly help it, I do not want that freedom in order that I, belonging to a nation which counts on fifth of the human race, may exploit any other race upon earth or any single individual. If I want that freedom for my country, I would not be deserving of the freedom if I didn't cherish and treasure the equal right of every other race, weak or strong, to the same freedom." Thus, real politics cannot be the fig leaf for being immoral or amoral. Rather, enlightened self-interest of nations can be promoted within the framework of the strategic morality which is predicated on the understanding and the respect for the legitimate strategic imperatives of all the civilized nations. Friends, it is for this reason that when we partner any nation, it is on the basis of the sovereign equality and mutual respect. Forging relations comes naturally to India as we work towards mutual economic development. Finally, I once again congratulate all the officers of the 60th NDC course who have been awarded the MPhil degree this morning. I would also like to especially congratulate the officers from foreign countries of this NDC course. You are akin to the ambassadors of your respective countries, and you are the bridge between India and your country, and challenges and concerns shared during this course would pave the way for enhancing the global security and prosperity in the region. I wish all of you great success in your future endeavors and am confident that you will earn great laurels for yourself and your country also. And in doing so, you will make both this country and the NDC proud. I once again thank the Commandant Lieutenant General M.K. Mago for inviting me for the Convocation ceremony. May the National Defence College grow its strength and stature in the years to come and continue its service to the nation. Thank you very much.